It's about that time where this is the season finale for season 4 of the Have and the Have-Nots, episode 11, 48 Hours. And if you watch the episode, you understand exactly why it's titled that way. So guess who pops up at Candace's house to start this off? None other than War. War is like, look, little girl, I'm not playing with you. Why did you go and tell your brother not to go into business with me? Well, she was like, no, let me tell you something. Look, little girl. Boom! I was like, damn, War. Like, I really wish we didn't have to go down this path with War. Because War, I think he will have been a great addition to the cast, but he's not going to last with this type of mentality. Oh, look at this voice going on. Must be my allergies, but I like it. Anyway, so War's like, look, you know what? Just for that, you have 48 hours. 48 hours. You hear me, little girl? She's like, I got you. Erica comes in the midst of this, and Candace is like, come in, come in. And Erica's just like, oh yeah, girl, so I got the hey. No, and of course War's looking at her like, oh wow, hey, what's up? And you know Erica was shook, and I'm like, okay, we get why you're shook once you found out it was War. Because for some reason I thought they knew each other, but I was trying to figure out what was the connection. So after he left, Candace was like, what's the problem? What's the problem? She goes and tells Candace what happened. Remember her sister, the one that was, what was it, castrated or mutilated? No, mutilated. He mutilated her. Yeah, that's what happened. So that's why she knows who War is. She actually met him one time before, but it was in passing, so he didn't even give her a second look. So that's why she's like, Candace, you need to do whatever it takes to get this money. To get this money. If you guys watch Love and Hip Hop New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Get this money. And so Candace is like, oh. So Erica goes and actually gets Candace the paperwork that she needs for her house, the house she got for Benny, and the tow yard. And that's great because that means that she can go mortgage them. Of course she fudged the paperwork, but it looks legit. You know, the same old with this crew. And Erica's like, look, I don't care how you feel about this. You're going to do whatever it takes. And then Erica also goes and says, so where are you going? To the hospital to get my son. Candace is like, I'm getting my son, Erica. That is it. Erica says something, and I'm like, all right, Erica, you get points for this. Erica tells Candace, look, your son is in danger, essentially, as long as he's around you, because you have some foolishness going on. What if War comes back and he's here? What are you going to do? You know, all that's going to happen is he's going to end back up in that crew again. And she didn't say that, but she basically was trying to tell Candace that's what's going to happen. Either he's going to die, or he's going to become a War 2.0. With all the foolishness you have going on. He needs stability. And I'm like, oh, HAHN doesn't have a house. She doesn't have a job. What stability is that? But I know exactly what you mean. All right. And she was talking about how her father, or her parents, actually have custody of her kids. And even though her kids don't know her, don't really like her, borderline hate her for it, at the end of the day, they are happier, at least because of the fact that they're with people, they're in a stable environment. I'm like, you know what? Shout out to you, Erica. I know I liked you for a couple of reasons, but that reason, yeah, shout out to Erica. Talking some common sense. Candace needs to really listen to her. So David goes and visits Jim in the jail house, and it's crazy because Jim, we were trying, remember Veronica was trying to figure out where is her wig? Where is her wig? And Jim has it. He's like, you want your bitch wig? You want this? Jim Cryer is playing no games. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, as you can clearly tell. And David is over. It's like, call off the hit, Jim. And Jim was like, what are you doing? Shut up. Why are you saying this here? So at this point, Jim isn't denying that he has a hit out on Veronica. He's still partially, just because he's in jail, but He's like, she's got what's coming to her. I am not going to go and do anything for her. Period. So David's over it, and he gives Jim a phone. It's like, call her. Call off the hit. Call off the hit. No, what hit? What hit? There's no hit. There's nothing happening. And even if there was, why would I do that? For her? No. You know, I'm behind bars. She's not behind bars anymore. No one to protect her. And it was like, do you know where she is? What's her address? And it was like, David Harrington, do you not know where your wife is? It's past 10 p.m. Do you know where Veronica Harrington is? Yeah, so after that, Jim was just like, it's too late, David. It's too late. It's too late. So David said, I'm going to wait here. And if anything happens to her, it's going to be your ass. I'm going to come in there and I'm going to kill you. I'm like, David, you're in jail and you're saying all this stuff. Like, what type of world do they live in? Because in the real world, both your asses would be screwed for all the stuff that you're saying. Candace goes and she's at the bank where she originally got the loan for the houses. Well, actually where she went to go through them to get the houses. And she's talking with this guy and I realized something's really off. But what's off? Things just seem a little bit too smoothly. I'm like, he's definitely reacting to some of the red herrings about the warning signs of she paid for all of this in cash. Now she wants to go and mortgage this. And this is within less than 30 days. What happened? What's going on with her? It's like, so what do you do exactly? Where does this money come from exactly? And of course, Erica had all of that doctored up. And Candace finds out she can't get the money in no less than 30 days. As soon as she leaves, and you know, Candace is flustered. She's like, I need to call and speak to Jim. And I'm like, okay, so Jim can get calls in jail like that? He has it like that, but he is a crier still. Oh, Candace. I already see that plot line coming. And we'll find out later about how she's going to get that loan with a catch. So, Catherine, you know, she took her B12 shot and she goes down to Jennifer's office. And it's like, look, little girl, where's my son? Actually, speaking of children, do you have kids? Oh yeah, that's right, you don't have kids, but you do have an egg frozen, and it's frozen in an incubator lab in Washington. And I know this because I'm Catherine Cryer. My father, we come from this small town where he built his fortune because he ran a steel mill. And the father before that did something else. The father before that owned a cotton field. I'm like, so you're just used to having people up under your ass. That's really what you're trying to say. So even though Hannah is your friend, Hannah, for example, if this was slaving days, she would have been the house slave and she will have been the one that will have cared for you and you will have loved more than your parents. Yeah, I see how it really is. I see how it really, really is, Catherine. Thinking that you're going to get cool points for this BS. But Catherine, just go and tell Jennifer, you know what, Jennifer? Here's the thing. You done screwed up. You gave my son, who has substance abuse issues, $12 million. Do you know where he is right now? Do you know his number? Call him. Humor me. Call him. And so she calls him, can't get him. It's like, look, do you know, hey, you see what this is? This is essentially a prep kit. You pee through this and it purifies the urine. It purifies the urine so that whatever is in it won't get shown on the test. That's how he's beaten every single drug test he's ever taken in his life. His college buddies actually created it, Jennifer. So, you know, if anything happens to my only living son, I will come here and I will kill you. Bitch, it is a threat. Try me. Do something. Find him. And of course, Jennifer is crying while she's doing this because Jennifer realizes she done messed up. Her hate and disgust for the Cryers has spilled over into letting this boy who clearly still has some type of issue go and get all this money and essentially kill himself. and Jennifer feels guilty. Jennifer is a good person at heart, so that's why she's crying, because she realizes that she messed up, and so that's why she's upset about this whole situation. She's just like, oh Lord Jesus, if my hate for these people clouded my judgment to the point where this kid that I thought I was really helping died, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. That's how I took it as far as Jennifer with her reaction. Now after that, we get Hannah, who comes to the house, and so conveniently, the guy that she was kind of canoodling with, who of course, he's the one where his granddaughter was killed by Wyatt when Wyatt was going off of his bender and also hit Benny. The lawyer's there as well, and this is where Hannah finds out they're trying to do a lawsuit. She essentially kicks both people out of Candace's house. And I agree with Candace. I'm like, wait a minute. Why the hell is this lawyer listening to Hannah? Clearly, he's about avoiding issues, and that's why he got out of there. He knew there was a real problem going on, and he wanted nothing to do with it. It was like, I'll call you later, babe. Let me go and escort my part of my client out. I don't want any type of troubles. I don't want a separate lawsuit on going on here. And so we get one of the, of course, really powerful scenes of this episode where Hannah's over it. Hannah's just like, what the hell are you doing? What is going on? Benny's like, you know, they hit me, Mom. They hit me. So, yeah, I am thinking about suing them. And Hannah's like, they paid your medical bills. They paid your medical bills. Candace is like, look, Benny, of course she's going to defend them because she knew about it. And Hannah was like, no, I didn't know about it. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know about it, but I didn't know about it until I knew about it. And I'm like, Hannah, which one is it? Did you know about it or did you not know about it? You weren't 100% sure. That was the issue. But you knew in your heart that they that Wyatt most likely did it. And here's the thing. Candace is like, screw off. Screw you. I'm tired of you and your shenanigans. You need to go and stop that. You need to go and stop the shenanigans. So, this is where Hannah's like, dun dun dun. You already took enough from the criers. And you know how you did that? Through blackmail. $7.4 million you took from them. So you're trying to be greedy and more evil and take more from them? What happened? What's really going on? What's really good? What is really good? And of course, she's denying it. She was like, oh, yeah, well, they gave it to me. Jim gave it to me. And yeah, I was like, little girl, I'm done with you. But here's the thing. I am on my knees in this house begging for me to get custody of your son and take care of him. He needs stability. He needs a home. He needs somewhere he can be loved. And again, the same exact stuff that Erica was telling Candace. And Candace is like, I'd rather let my son go in the foster care system than live with someone like you. Because Candace is thinking that he'll turn out the same way that she did under Hannah's tutelage. But I'm like, look at Benny. Benny is screwed up, but Benny's nowhere as screwed up as you are. Really, trust and believe that, Candace. So, I think Hannah will do just fine. And so, after that reaction, they actually fight! They have a crazy tussle. And Hannah goes and slaps, what's her face? Candace, and Candace hits Hannah back. I'm like, oh, and they tussling. Benny's like, stop it, stop it. Hannah's like, I'm done with you. You hit me, my daughter, my seed. You hit me on this day. Benjamin, shut up. But before you do that, what day is it? It's Sunday. Sunday what? The 14th. I'm like, I wanted to say March 14th. All right, we're getting current with the current time. I am done with her. I am done with this situation. This is over. You hear me? This is over. I am not praying for you anymore. I'm not. No one will be covering you. I kept praying for you, and I kept praying for you. But God told me stop. And I was so terrified. I was crying because I was like, Lord, no, why? Why are you telling me to stop praying for my daughter? Why are you stop telling me to pray for my seed? It's like, you cannot help her anymore. And I'm like, Hannah, was that God or was that you? Come on now. Let's stop let's really stop this foolishness, Hannah. I understand where you're going with this, but come on, stop it. So Hannah was just like, I'm done with you. I'm done. I am done. That's it. And so we didn't see Hannah again for this episode. That was it. That was Hannah's last powerful move. This episode was mainly about Candace and Veronica and them. So, what's his name? David finally gets a call from the Oscar wannabe, and he's just like, I found her. 6 something. I knew, of course, it was 666. I was hoping he was saying 666, but that didn't happen. So he goes and rushes out of the jail cell. It's like, it's too late! Ha ha ha! That's what Jim was saying to him. So as we figured, Wyatt overdosed, and the people he was partying with, they go and leave out. It was like, so what are we gonna do? It's like what we always do. Bounce! I'm like, damn! Someone can't even do a pseudo 911 call? Come on now. But Wyatt, we already knew that was going to happen. Is he going to die that easily? No. Only because Wyatt's big. He actually is a big guy. And so, I'm sure it takes a moment for the drugs to really take effect on someone like him. Someone like me, that's definitely a lot skinnier. And I did even a quarter or anything at all, I'd be out. Hell, if I take an aspirin, I feel funny. So, there's that. Jim is meeting up with the bank guy who apparently they're the majority owner in this bank. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, how deep does your money and wealth run for you to be a majority voting owner or something like that in a bank? Damn. So the bank guy was like, well, you know, a Miss Young, Candace Young, wanted to go and take out loans on all 3 of her properties that she paid in cash. As I was saying, Jim was over it and was just like, you know what? This is great. Why don't we go and make this even better for us? Why don't we go and give Candace the money with the stipulation of her ass will have to pay all of it back within, I don't know, 15 days, or else we seize her property. And I was like, I already saw this coming. We saw this coming as soon as the whole mortgaging of the house was going to occur. I knew that Jim was going to go and find a way to get back everything. And I mean everything. So Candace has to start back from square one. We already see it. Unless she's going to go and find it. Maybe her lawyer friend will be able to see through the bullshit. Who knows? So like I said, Wyatt isn't dead. Well, they'll bring Wyatt back to life. They're not ready to kill him off yet. And Jim is so happy in jail, which just sounds really odd. But he is. Next we have the one, the only social worker lady. Social worker lady somehow comes up with $55,000. And anyone who watches The Magicians, she was on the latest episode of The Magicians. That's on Sci-Fi, by the way. And she comes up with $55,000. First off, can we figure out why is her old ass Lexus look so nice? I mean, that thing definitely looks like it's from the early 2000s, but it looked nicer and cleaner than most of the current cars out right now. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Tyler is messing with us. Where did that car come from? But so yeah, Candace was like, oh, that's all you got me? Get out of my sight. Get out of my sight. And I'm like, Candace, what are you going to do with that money? $55,000 at this point? What are you going to do with that? I'm still trying to figure out where she got that in the first place, but what are you going to do with that? And I keep forgetting how big her boobs are. Not Candace, but the social worker lady. I'm like, damn, that's like the whole top half of her body, period. And it's crazy. Veronica pops up, and she's looking at Candace. Candace is looking at her. This cab pops up, and Jeffrey comes out of the cab. I'm like, what the hell? What type of witchcraft is this? So Veronica makes 2 calls. She goes, confirms with Maggie. She's like, girl, come over. 15 minutes. Come over to my house. Go and do it. And then Veronica goes and plays and is like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm Veronica Harrington. And I see someone going into my neighbor's backyard. Please hurry. I don't know who it is. Please hurry. And it's crazy because Veronica is staging this. She's setting up an alibi and then staging the crime herself. I'm like, damn, shout out to you, Veronica. So Veronica's like, Jeffrey, come in. Veronica is like, so Jeffrey, you're gonna go and Marissa's waiting for you. You two are going to get married. You're going to get married now. You're going to do it. That's exactly what you're going to do. Candace is like, girl, bah. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Yeah, they're going to get married. And this is where Jeffrey's like, no, I'm not going to do it. It's like, are you still going to testify? I'm absolutely going to testify against your act. I was like, oh, this house, how much you pay for it? It was like, oh, a milli in cash or whatever. It's like, oh, shout out to you, girl. But, or 2 million. And she's just looking around. It's like, oh, you furnished this one place at a time. No, I bought it completely furnished. She was like, oh, well, you know, this stuff's a knockoff. You can tell by, ooh, you had to go real low in order to sit down. That's how you can know it's a knockoff. And I was like, oh, because they spent less material on, like, the, what do you call it? The legs and stuff. That's where they cut the cost. Yeah, I could see that. But Veronica, you're still in this. She's still in this. But Veronica's like, Jeffrey, you're going to go and you're going to marry Marissa. And I'm like, how is she still trying to blackmail him? Oh, crap. That's right. She knows that Quincy's dead. She knows that something happened to Quincy and they were responsible. She's like, oh, you two look very guilty. What's wrong? What's going on there? I mean, this scene was a lot longer than it needed to be, so that's why I'm just glossing over a lot of it. She goes and she spills the solution. I'm like, oh, crap. I was waiting for it to be like a fast-acting solution where as soon as it was spilt, they would go and see the traces of the bloodstain because that's where it happened. And I'm like, wait a minute. How the hell does she know what happened there? I'm like, am I missing something? Like, did her and Queenie have a longer conversation than we originally thought? Or maybe she saw the police report? I don't know. Or maybe she noticed, because she is a lawyer, so she knows that the area was staged. So she throws the solution down, and Candace is like, oh, crap, turn off the lights. Ooh! That's, whatever it's called, this chemical that goes and is able to show where blood is, wherever blood is. And you see this huge ring where Quincy's dead body was, and then the splatter. It's like, oh, crap, she got you guys. And it's like, damn, bleach couldn't take that out. So what can take out blood stains like that? You're pretty much screwed. And so they're like, we don't know what we're going to do at this point. Jennifer is bugging because the person she had go call and figure out, track Wyatt's phone, it's at the Sarandon Hotel. So they're going there. It's like, call the manager now, have them go in there. The manager comes in, it's like, I can't find a pulse. But when they first came in, why was it that the manager and his employee were looking around? They were looking around everywhere except for straight. I'm like, y'all playing too much. In what world? Anything to drag out this damn scene. But Wyatt isn't dead. We know that. I mean, how they just had plopped it in there. We know he's not dead. At least not yet. Who knows what could happen. Veronica shows up to her house, and the police show up. Veronica unlocks it, and I'm like, Veronica, you ain't ish for this, but you need to go in the house. I understand you need to go in the house. They can't just shoot you through the window. So she unlocks it, the police comes, and she does it so slowly. And so she talks to the police officer. It's like, oh, yeah, we already chatted. And there's something there. It's like, oh, I could have sworn. I really could have sworn. And it was like, yeah. So then Maggie pulls up. And it's like, oh, hey, Maggie, girl. Yeah, that's my friend Maggie Day. And again, creating this alibi. So Veronica's like, go in the house. And no, really, it's no issue at all. Just go in the house and I'll meet you there. It's like, okay. Maggie, as soon as you hesitated, you should have been like, you know what? I'll see you later, girl. Bye. Because Maggie goes, opens up that door ever so slowly while looking at Veronica like, I know in my heart I feel him setting up, but I love David so much that I'm going to take the risk. I'm like, Maggie, don't do it. So Maggie opens that door and all you see is the gunman, and you see this look on her face like, who is you? And boom! And it goes off. It's coming back in June, so I'm ready. This episode was great. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to OWN Network. Shout out to all the actors. Oh, Lord, I love this show. I love this show so much. And Empire's coming back, so watch out for my Empire reviews. Watch out for all my other